here at Otemon Gate, one of the entrances to Osaka Castle. Otemon Gate is home to one of the most famous Japanese carpentry examples, which is this joint to the castle gate. And if you look at this joint, for a long time people couldn't understand how it was put together. How did the carpenter design this kind of joint? And it wasn't until recently that scientists used some x-rays to actually look inside the wood and figure out exactly how the pieces fit together. And the other thing that you'll notice if you enter Otemon Gate is the first thing you'll see in front of you are these big stones. These giant stones were built here to, of course, protect the castle. And they look quite impressive, and if you were someone trying to attack the castle, you might be afraid when you saw these stones that something even bigger might be inside. And in fact, there are bigger stones inside, and that's where we'll go next. Just so you have an idea, the stones behind me here are about 48 meters squared. Quite big and quite heavy. But, as I said, there's a bigger one inside, so let's go see. We're now at Sakuromon Gate, the inner gate that protects the main tower keep of Osaka Castle. And as you can see here, this is Takoishi, which literally means octopus stone. This is the biggest stone that protects the castle walls. Takoishi is about 60 meters squared and weighs more than 100 tons. And it's called Takoishi because if you look closely here, this shape kind of looks like an octopus. Here's the octopus's head and the eyes, and this is octopus's legs. So that's why they've named this octopus stone. And next we're gonna go inside the castle and hopefully get a good look at it. Let's go. Now we're here in a Japanese garden that's at the foot of Osaka Castle itself. And I would say that this may be one of the best views of Osaka Castle you can get, with this beautiful garden behind me. And now, I'll explain just a little bit about the history of Osaka Castle. Osaka Castle was originally built and completed in 1597 by Toyotomi Hideyoshi. And when he built the original castle, it was supposed to be modeled on Oda Nobunaga's castle, and the original one was actually painted black. As you can see, the castle now is white, but the style back then was to have a black castle. And after Toyotomi built it, it was then attacked by Tokugawa Ieyasu in 1615 during the summer siege of Osaka Castle. And at that time, Tokugawa destroyed the castle. And then once Tokugawa took over, they rebuilt the castle. And it was actually built on top of the old castle. They filled in the ground and buried the original Toyotomi castle and built this new castle on top of it. And since then, the castle's been rebuilt a couple times after some fires. And of course, the original castle was made of wood, but now the castle here has been redone with a concrete, steel enforced. And the inside now has actually been turned into a museum. So you can go inside and see all of the historical stuff and see exactly how and why this place was built and get the history of Osaka Castle itself. So next we're going to go inside and hopefully take a look. We're right in front of the castle now. We're about to go inside and see the museum. I have to pay a little bit to get in, but it's not so expensive. And unfortunately, I'm not sure if we can take videos inside the museum itself, but definitely we're gonna see you at the top. There goes a sight from my soul. about to enter Osaka Castle itself. But before we go in, let's really quickly look at these walls here. The walls of Osaka Castle itself, and also the surrounding walls that protect the castle, are made using a specific Japanese style of building walls. And these walls don't use any mortar or anything to hold the stones together. They're made using lots of big stones to make the shape of the wall itself, and then they fill the cracks with much smaller stones to keep everything in place and lock it together. And this has an advantage over using kind of traditional mortar style of walls, because most people know Japan has lots of earthquakes, and because the small stones lock the bigger stones together instead of mortar, they have little kind of wiggle room to move when an earthquake happens. So we don't have to worry about these walls collapsing if some earthquake hits Osaka. So that's a kind of neat point about these walls. And you can see these walls here and outside around the moat of the castle itself. And if you come by and take a quick look at these walls, you'll notice there's no mortar or anything in between these cracks. It's all just small, tiny stones. That's kind of interesting. We're inside the castle now. It looks quite modern. As I said, they've rebuilt the inside. They put an elevator in as well, so it's accessible to anybody. We're going to take the stairs because the line is much shorter and we want to get up. Unfortunately, the third and fourth floors, it's prohibited to take any kind of photos or videos, so we'll have to say goodbye then. Let's head on up. Hopefully we'll see something interesting and maybe tell you about it afterwards. Right here we've got a couple embellishments that they put on the castle itself. These are from the original Toyotomi version of the castle. This fish-like creature, it's called Shachigawara. It's a dolphin-like fish. And this is an exact replica of the version that's on the roof of the castle, as it is now. And behind that is the Fukuko tiger. This tiger is watching and protecting the neighborhood and guarding the area. And there are 8 of these tigers around the walls of the outside of the castle. And again, just like the fish, these are from the Toyotomi version of the castle. When it was destroyed and rebuilt by Tokugawa, it didn't feature these, but it was restored and rebuilt in late 1900s. And then they put these tigers back up again to restore the original Toyotomi feeling of the castle. As I said before when I explained a bit about the history, this is the original Toyotomi version of the castle. And it's about 39 meters tall. And then after Tokugawa attacked and destroyed it in the siege of Osaka Castle in the summer, they rebuilt this 58-meter version of the castle. And they buried part of the original Toyotomi castle here. And you can see the original Toyotomi castle had 3 consecutive sets of walls here. But when Tokugawa rebuilt it, they had just one 24-meter tall wall. And those are the walls you can see today if you go outside and look at the castle. These are surrounded by the moat of the castle. This castle now is about 8 stories tall, I believe, whereas the original is 5. If you enter Osaka Castle, you can pay about 500 yen and you can try on either, it's like girls can try on a yukata and the men can try on a samurai helmet and jacket. And then staffs will take some photos for you. The line isn't too long. Fourth floor, so no more cameras. See you at the top. We're at the top of the castle now. Finally, we can see a great view of the surrounding area. Right now, we're facing west. You can see from the map here exactly what we can see on the horizon. This is the outside Nishinomaru Garden and a couple of the turrets that surround the moat on the outside. Far off, you can see some of the main features of the Umeda area, Sky Building, Hepa 5. And if you look out here, you can see one of the moats that surround the castle. And if you look down here, you can see one of those golden fish characters that are on the roof of Osaka. Let's keep going around. From here you can see the garden that we visited before earlier and the big open courtyard area in front of the castle. And then the main park area, of course, is over off to our left. This is facing south. Here's our final view of the north view from Osaka Castle. And I think this is where we'll end our video today. We introduced a couple interesting points from Osaka Castle. Hopefully you find something interesting that you enjoy, and you should come and visit for yourself. If you want to come to Osaka Castle, I think the easiest way is probably to take Osaka JR Loop Line. You can take it to Osaka-jo Koen Station, and then from the station, maybe it's about 10 to 15 minute walk to the castle itself. And if you want to enjoy the whole park, I'd recommend about 2 hours, so you can walk around and enjoy everything at a nice pace. That's it. Hope you enjoyed it. See you in Osaka-jo.